This week on the show, we talk about horror movies, and it's the season 1 finale. This is Nerdy Pop!
I'm so scared.
Me too. All right, welcome to Nerdy Pop. This is our season finale of the show. I'm Matt Barnes. This is Rob Liefeld.
How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm ready to be scared, Matt.
It is horror movie comeback week.
We're going out with a boo.
We're going out with a boo.
Yep.
That is right. So tonight we are talking about horror movies.
Yes.
And I love horror movies.
It's the season.
So good.
They're starting.
It's coming up.
They've stretched out the horror season too.
They have.
September to after
Yeah,
Halloween.
whatever. So want to talk about horror movies. We've got a whole bunch of stuff this week for that. And I guess let's start with what makes a good horror movie, because I think there's a lot of bad horror movies out there. You see just like crappy stuff. What makes for a good horror movie?
You know, the thing about the horror genre is you seek it out because you want to be scared.
Yeah.
You're going in knowing that this is going to frighten you.
Yep.
And I guess it's your challenge. You're throwing down the challenge.
Yes.
Are you gonna be fresh and scare me? Because I've been scared since I was a kid.
Yep.
And are you gonna scare me and take me on this journey? And I think the best ones offer surprises along the way.
Yes.
But you gotta have characters. It's just like anything. It's built on character, right?
Yep. Yeah. Character, and I think it's almost like, can it outdo my imagination? Like,
Yes.
We as kids, we come up with these horror scenarios. There's always the behind the bed or under the bed or
Yes,
whatever
yes.
that you think has happened, or in the woods or whatever. But can these movies outdo the scary things that I came up with to scare myself?
No, that's
and you go in, and the ones that are good, they do. They come up with characters. They come up with scenarios that you're just like, oh, I wouldn't have thought of that.
And I think the thing with horror movies too is they're not dependent on big special effects and big budgets.
Yeah.
It generally comes down to a clever way that a story. I mean, the stories that we would be told around campfire when my camp group would go out to the fire with my counselor who was dead set on scaring us. It only takes about 10 minutes to really scare you and play on your, the psychology. But
Right.
I mean, who are the greats of horror? You got Hannibal Lecter, you got The Exorcist, the Omen, you've got the
Freddy Krueger,
the Freddy Krueger and the Michael Myers.
Yep.
And what do they have in common? They're terrifying.
They're terrifying. That's
like you
pretty
said,
much what it comes down to. It's
they're going to
scare the crap out of you.
Scare the crap out of you by being invincible many times. Many times it's that whole that person is chasing you and they're going to always catch up with you. You can't outrun them. If you can't outrun them, you're screwed.
Yeah, it's the dream where you can't get away. You know what I mean? And
which is the Freddy Krueger, which is the Mike Myers,
right.
which is the. We don't mention Jason from Friday the 13th. You know what? I don't love those movies.
I don't
because
either.
I thought Michael Myers, somewhere between Michael Myers and Freddy, they were superior models. Jason had a million movies though.
Yeah,
Friday the 13th was a great franchise.
Yeah.
I just didn't love it.
Never got into it.
The first one was good, but okay, every time I'm going back and the guy's going to hack me in the woods. I mean, so.
And then you get the other ones that are like the Hannibal Lecters, where they've also got the creep factor.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And he's not the invincible. He's not the supernatural.
He is, but you don't identify him as that to begin with.
Right.
That's where it sneaks up on you.
Yes.
He's old. Whatever his name is, Sir
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins, and then he's ripping your face off, and you're like, wait. And when he first meets her, he's standing straight up, and you see he's he's presenting himself as a gentleman, only to later tear your face off.
Exactly.
So and eat you,
as people do.
But I think that when I go see, true. Look. When I grew up with real life horror in not my family, but the Charles Manson was openly murdering people up and down the Southland when I was a kid in the late 60s, early 70s. Helter Skelter, terrifying. Saw it on TV. Don't know why I was allowed to as a kid. Then there was there was a serial killer movement.
Yes.
From Zodiac to who's the guy that came in our doors?
Night Stalker.
The Night Stalker. Crap. My mom. We had to start locking them. So I mean, horror was. There was scary stuff when I was a kid.
Yes.
Really scary. And I always go, what happened to the serial killers? What happened to that group of they were all trying to outdo each other? Like, I can outkill you, because clearly that was going on.
Right.
And then that opened the door for Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy. They
playing on the fears of America. I mean, of culture.
And so look, what are so we've already mentioned a couple.
Yes.
I think one that we haven't gotten to and John Carpenter, who really to me made a perfect movie. Halloween. There are certain movies, science fiction and horror and westerns, that are just perfect. You go, it's a flawless movie.
Yeah.
Every move is perfect. But he followed up Halloween with another horror movie that we don't give enough love to, and with Kurt Russell, called The Thing.
The Thing.
And The Thing is a terrifying movie because it preys on your suspicions.
Yeah.
Again, until you see The Thing, you get glimpses of The Thing.
Right.
But it really is a psychological horror movie.
Yeah.
About who's not who they say they are.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying. And look in the world we live in today. We're always, who's going to get on the plane and blow it up? Who's going to come into the church and shoot everybody? I mean, these are real.
Right.
I think they're a great release, but horror is definitely back in Hollywood.
It is.
I mean, it's for whatever reason, it was going on in kind of a down. It went into a slasher. Don't you?
Yeah.
It went into a slasher place, right?
Yes.
Saw.
And those to me were. I think they called them torture porn movies.
Torture porn.
That was sort of.
Was not a torture porn guy.
It was that never appealed to me. There was nothing smart about that. There was nothing clever about that. It's the clever thing. And the interesting thing to me is as I look at the trend as some of the movies are coming back now. We talked about Blair Witch. Don't Breathe was big this summer.
Yeah.
Obviously, but I think it actually started on TV. You know, we had the Hannibal TV show that was on for a few seasons. We had American Horror Story has been a big deal.
The first season of American Horror Story scared the crap out of me.
Right?
In the broad daylight, scared the dude in the black lip, whatever. He was the gimp, the supernatural gimp.
Yes.
Scared the crap out of me. You're right. In my house. In my house.
It started there, and now all of a sudden, I think it's working its way back to the cinema.
You know
where it's coming off the screen. Yeah.
I saw The Conjuring. I took. For whatever reason, my wife, who is responsible for me seeing less horror movies, because she's kind of like, yeah, I'm not doing that with you.
Yeah.
And then
my
you're
wife
like,
won't either.
do I want to go alone? You don't want to go alone. So this year, she saw an interview and she goes, I didn't know that was a real couple, The Conjuring, because they were really involved in the Amityville horror. And which, again, Amityville Horror was a real life. They reported it as true when I was a kid. My sister read the book. It was in the 70s. It became a phenomenon on the news. And you're like, was there really a haunted house? And then, of course, people speculate that they were lying.
Right.
I think the bottom line with horror is the unknown,
Exactly.
the element of the unknown. And is it true? Is it not? But The Conjuring deals with the real life couple who were like exorcists, and would inspect supernatural phenomenon. And they, in The Conjuring 2, they go overseas to what was called England's Amityville Horror, and that. It involves the devil, and as we've talked before, if you invoke the devil, I'm a good little Christian Baptist raised boy, and I was scared crapless, and I swear to you, there's this evil nun that's a man that looks like Marilyn Manson, and I'm telling you, you get a glimpse of him, and he's seared into your brain forever, and you're scared forever. You're like, the nun, and the nun is the devil in the movie.
So how did Joy do with this?
She loved it.
Really?
See, I think that's the great thing. I know my son is going to go see Blair Witch.
Yeah.
And his if he sees it with his girlfriend, she's going to grab him tight.
Yeah.
And he's going to grab her. My wife, our first movie was The Fly. And everybody knows they're great date movies. Because you know if you like the girl, she's going to grab you and make you feel like, yeah, I'm the man. And you get to grab her and go, yeah, I'm your man. And the girl is
so
grabbing, and you're like, yeah, this is the best. I'm getting snuggled. But... You know, The Fly, Cronenberg's The Fly was the first movie with my wife and I, and we were terrified because I was not ready for Jeff Goldblum to start having pieces of his bits fall off and turn into Brundlefly.
Right.
And again, in that movie, he's aware he's becoming a monster, and he digs it.
Yeah.
And that's the creepiness of, would I dig becoming a pus-filled monster? I'm not sure.
Right.
But what are some of your favorites?
I mean, you've listed a lot of them. I think we've talked about Nightmare on Elm Street. The Exorcist is one of those ones where it's like favorite and hated at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it does such a good job, and it's almost a little too like, could this happen? Because I feel.
Well, how much of the world believes in God? How much of the world? Catholics, Christians.
Yeah.
And so then, if you believe in God, you believe in the devil.
Yeah.
So The Exorcist is presenting a showdown with the devil.
Yeah.
That, as we've spoiled before, people. And if you haven't seen The Exorcist, the devil wins. He throws that priest straight out that window, down all those stairs, and you're like, oh, the bad guy wins in this movie. Oh crap.
Yeah.
And it's unsettling.
Yes.
And that's the thing about horror movies. Also, they love to set up a scenario where the bad guy. The Omen movies, again, raised in the church. Believed in the book of Revelations. Oh, there's movies about the Antichrist? Cool. Oh, this is the Antichrist as a kid. When that nanny, okay, in the Omen, there's a scene when the nanny's out, and again, broad daylight. I'm a big thing. My big thing is if you scare me at broad daylight, then you've done your job.
Yes.
It's the day, it's on the rich mansion, people are out having the party, and the nanny's taking care of little Damien.
Yeah.
Don't name your kid Damien. And the thing is, then she disappears, and they go, "Where's the nanny?" And then when she's like on the 5th floor, and she goes, "I'll do anything for you, Damon. I do it all for you." And she proclaims and jumps and kills herself. You're like, and Damien's just like eating his cupcake, like, "That's right. I possessed you because I'm Satan, and I made you jump out." And the dogs are under his protection.
Yeah.
And and I was hooked because I had to see 2 and 3.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I want to see about the Antichrist.
Yes.
Because the Bible says there's going to be Antichrist. How does Hollywood envision the Antichrist?
Right.
So I was totally into it. I think there's an Omen TV show now. They're mining all this stuff. Oh, by the way, I just got a call. It's Robert Kirkman. He said, "Hey, stupid Matt and stupid Rob, you talked about horror on television and didn't mention The Walking Dead."
That's true.
He's like, "Hannibal is gone and I'm still here and I'm coming to kick your ass because you didn't mention my zombie show." Matt, it started on TV, like you said.
It did.
With The Walking Dead.
Right.
People love that show. And at my church, I know I'm going back to church.
Yeah.
But all the ladies love the zombies. They would come in and they go, hey Rob, do you read the comics? Do you know about The Walking Dead?" And this is like season 2, and I'm like, You watch The Walking Dead?
Yeah.
And it's all the church ladies.
Yeah.
"It's my favorite show." And I'm like, what? And I called up my good buddy Robert Kirkman and said, "Robert, dude, Bible Baptist, I don't go to a Baptist church, but these are kind of Baptist-y people." And I said, "They love your show." And I believe they love your show because it's apocalyptic.
Yeah.
And there's a religious belief that the world is going to end in this way. And I'm not sure it involves, but there's something about zombies.
Yes.
And I kid you not, Matthew. I kid you not. I don't think I've ever called you Matthew.
We just got formal.
But I'm telling you,
Robert.
The Walking Dead preys on our fascination with our demise.
Oh, for sure.
And all the violent outcomes are like, what are they going to escape this time to keep alive because the world is ending, and will they survive, and does it give me hope? I mean, that's what I think.
It's true.
And I will tell you one thing. Robert actually a year later said, Rob, we actually got the data from the network, and in the Bible Belt, we are huge. And I said, I told you, Christians love your show. That is so driven
You
by.
heard it here.
You heard it here
Christians
on
love
the
Walking
nerdy
Dead.
damn pop. It's the flyover states that are delivering the big win to Walking Dead.
That's so,
and are going
so
to see all these horror films.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like the Renaissance, especially
Yes.
when they're well made.
Yes.
When they're well made. We're seeing some good ones.
It's good. Did you ever see a movie called Event Horizon
Yes.
with Sam Neill?
Great movie.
Here my quick story about this. I was working at the movie theater, Cinemapolis, which used to be in Anaheim Hills, Rio Belinda, and where we both live.
Yes.
And I was working there.
Don't visit me, kids.
And sorry. And I would watch as crowds would go in to see this movie and walk out, and no one was ever saying a word to each other. They would literally walk out and behind the counter, we're all, what is going on in that theater?
Right.
Because the previews for this movie had made it look like an action movie.
Yes.
But then you go see it. It is not an
horror
action
film,
movie.
yeah.
It is about people who find a hole in space that leads them to hell
Yes,
and the
yes.
devil.
Isn't it awesome?
And it is like, so I had to go see it, and it scared the crap out of me. And I know it's, for whatever reason, never it's taken its place, and I probably, if I saw it again, but I think it was that, it's that mystery.
Yeah.
It's that you went in thinking you're going to get one thing, you're not sure, and it catches you off guard.
That's it.
And horror movies, I think, when they're successful, this one played a marketing trick on you, but I think horror movies in general, they get you with what you don't expect. They get you with what you don't see coming.
Help me out. Was it called The Sixth Sense or The Seventh Sense?
The Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Okay. Well, I did not know. I saw the first showing.
Yes.
My wife and I. And at the end, when you go, oh crap, he sees dead people. Bruce Willis is dead.
Yeah.
What the? That is
genius.
That is. That's
so
why
good.
we love horror films,
That
right?
was so good.
So we got Blair Witch coming up.
Yep.
And God, we hope that I hope it does well because we've established in our review of the movie.
Which
there's
check
a
out.
lot,
We'll put a link up for you to click on.
there's a lot of meat on the bones this time around to examine. And look, I love all these scary movies that they got coming my way. So
It's good.
So I dig it. Horror's good. It kind of wakes you up.
Yeah.
A good
yeah.
scare is a good thing.
Yeah, for sure. So let us know what your favorite horror movies are at Nerdy Pop Show on Instagram and Twitter. And visit us at nerdypopshow.com. This is our season 1 finale. We're wrapping things up, and we're going to be back at the end of October. In the meantime, we will have some stuff for you to keep you entertained for the next few weeks. But our regular show won't be back till the end of October. We'll have some awesome stuff for you. But for now...
Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.
Yes. Thank you so much for watching. All of your shares, all of your likes, all of your clicks, all of your subscriptions, all of those things. It's been so much fun.
It's been a blast,
and
Matt. We've had a great
we'll
time.
definitely be back.
We'll be back
So
soon.
That is a wrap on season 1. See you later.
Great. Thank you. That was great.